Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Abhijit, and in this particular video we are going to start a series on Django Rest framework and Vue.js. And what we are going to build, we are going to build a to-do application, complete to-do application, where we will see a lot of things like user authentication. A user can create their own to-do and can access their own to-do, and we are going to create an API for this, like complete CRUD API, create, update, read and delete. And after that we are going to create a front end for that particular application, and all the front end code will be in the Vue Js CLI. We are not going to use CDN at all. Okay, so we will learn how we can install Vue.js with the Django Rest framework and how we can create the APIs and other part of the projects. So without wasting time, let's start the coding. First, we are going to install this Django Rest framework in this particular project. So let's go to the terminal and let's start Django Rest framework. So to install Django Rest framework, what we need to do is pip install Django Rest framework. Here in the documentation you can easily find, and let's paste it over here. And after that we are gonna update in our settings application. Okay, so let's go to the installed app section and add Rest framework here as the documentation says. Okay, and let's go and Rest framework. So let's Rest framework is added, and we are going to create one app called to do python manage.py start app to do. Okay, so what it's gonna do is it's gonna create an application app called to do, and we are now good to go. So in the models.py we are gonna create a base model to create all the, because I like to use UUID instead of normal ID. So we are gonna create a base model class, base model, and then this base model we are gonna pass models.model, and after that we are gonna pass UID is equal to, and we are gonna import UID, import UUID. And for the UID, what's UID? So UID is basically an alphanumeric string which is completely you can say unique, and it's not gonna repeat at all. Okay, so instead of using like primary key of 1 2 3 4 5 6, we are gonna use UUID. It's a very like when you work in a company and when you work in like big organization, you don't use that kind of primary keys. Nowadays we use basically like UID, and if you have already used MongoDB, it automatically creates UUID instead of that 1 2 3 4. It's MongoDB uses default UUID to create primary keys. So let's models.uuid field, and for the default value we are gonna pass default is equal to UUID dot UUID4, and we are not gonna execute this function, otherwise it's gonna like run at once when we migrate. We're gonna like no, don't do this. And editable is equal to false, and unique is equal to unique, or we can say primary key is equal to true. That's all. After that we can add created at and updated at. Created at is equal to models dot date field, and auto now equal to true. And for the same, and for same we are gonna create one more field called updated at. Okay, now auto now add equal to true. And now we are gonna create like we are gonna import user, and every user have their own called, you can say, to do application. So we are gonna use the model which is present on Django itself, from django.contrib.auth.models import user model, and we are gonna create class. And also we need to add abstract equal to true. It's called meta class, and we are gonna pass abstract equal to true. Okay, so so when we write abstract equal to true, it is treated as a, like you can say, base class, otherwise it's gonna treat as a model. And when we run python manage.py make migration, it's gonna create the table. But when we write abstract equal to true, it never create this particular model. It treats as a base class. Okay, so class to do, and we're gonna pass base model now. and automatically it will populate these three fields. This is a part of inheritance. If you have already prepared Django, you can say Python object oriented part, you already know what this stuff is going on. So first of all, there will be a to do name. Okay, that's all. Models dot we can say like char field, and max length will be like 100, and after that there will be a to do description if someone wants to do, or otherwise we can remove it. And is completed, there will be a field models dot boolean field, and default it's gonna be false. Okay, and they're gonna be like user field is equal to models dot foreign key, and we're gonna pass user, and on delete we are gonna do models dot cascade in models dot cascade, and we can say like a related name we can add, it's equal to to-dos. Okay, user to-dos. Now we are good to go. To do, we have three fields called to do name and is completed and user, and we are gonna migrate this stuff. So let's go Python manage.py make migrations, and that's gonna create, you can see created a model called to do, and we are gonna run Python manage.py migrate. Okay, so complete, you can see migration is ready, and Python manage.py create super user. So create super user is done, and we will admin email address, we can say blank 123 and we're gonna bypass, and we are now good to go. And now we are gonna create a serializer field which is be used to serialize all the data. Serializer.py, it's import from Django, from REST framework, import serializer, and from to do dot models import to do, and class to do serializer, and we're gonna pass serializer dot model serializer. Okay, and class meta, and model we need to add to do, and we need to add how many fields, and what are the fields which we are gonna serialize. So we're gonna create a fields is equal to, we can use one method called exclude, which will exclude all the unnecessary field of created at and updated at, that's all. Okay, so like our to do serializer is now good to go, and now we are gonna create a views logic. So first of all, let's import the response from Django Rest framework. We're gonna use the views. Basically what we can do is we can use model view set to create all the APIs in just 2 or 3 lines of code, but I want to demonstrate all the things which you can do from this particular thing. So let's import API view. So what I want to do is I want to teach you each and every API how it works, and because view sets are quite easy if you know the basics of anything. If you know any kind of basic things, you all are good to go with the advanced stuff. So again we're gonna import a response. Okay, so now let's create class to do view, and we're gonna pass API view. Okay, and we have like some of methods get self and request, and first of all we need to add all the stuff called Django JWT, or we can use rest like token authentication, but we will add those things in later part of the video. So let's do this thing first. Def. So first of all we will get all the, you can say token. So user is equal to request dot user, and after that we're gonna get all the to-dos. To-do is equal to to-do dot objects. Let's import the model first from dot models import to-do Okay, so to do obj to do dot objects dot filter, and we're gonna pass user is equal to user, and after that we are gonna serialize the data. Serializer is equal to do serializer, and we're gonna pass all the to do's, many equal to true, and after that we are gonna get all the data, and we are gonna just return response status of true. Data is equal to serializer dot data, and message is equal to do fetch successfully. Okay, and now we are going to create a post request, post self request, and always open try catch. So first we are going to get user is equal to request dot user, and now we are going to serialize the data. So to get the data is equal to request dot data, and we are going to type data up, like update the data, update the dict is equal to user dot uid. Okay, and after that serializer is equal to do serializer, and we're gonna pass data is equal to data, and check if serializer dot is valid. If it's valid, if it's not valid, we are gonna return some error. Okay, return response status equal to false, and message invalid fields fields, and data is equal to serializer dot errors, and if it's valid, so we're gonna type, we have done a spelling mistake, serializer, so serializer dot save, and we're gonna return the response, return response status of true, message is equal to what, to do is created, and data is equal to serializer dot data. And now let's import the serializer from dot serializer import to do serializer. Now we are good to go, and now our two APIs are created, and let's add the Django permissions. Authentication is here, and we are going to use Django simple JWT library for adding JWT to our Django app. And to install this particular library, we are gonna pip install Django simple JWT. Let's open the terminal. Let's paste it over here, and it's gonna install Django simple JWT. And after that, we need to add this in our, you can say, like settings.py. So let's go in the settings.py. Okay, here we are in settings.py, and we are gonna paste it in below. Okay, so let's remove this, let's remove this, and let's remove this. Okay, and these are the APIs which we can use to create the get the token. So let's go in the, you can say, like URLs, and we can paste it over here, and these are the two paths. Because it's just a normal authentication system, we can use all these APIs. Otherwise we need to create one route which you can use to particularly check, or you can say validate everything, whether your password or your account is verified or not. Okay, so path, to verify that particular token we need to add this one, and we need to add simple JWT in our what's wrong over here. We need to add exception as E and return response status is equal to false, and message is equal to something went wrong, and data is equal to what, this one. Okay, so we need to add this in settings.py, Django simple JWT, this one over here, and let's try this one in the postman whether we are able to obtain the token or not. So first we are gonna obtain the token, then we can update those all the things in our routes, or you can say views, so that our APIs can work perfectly. Okay, first let's run the python manage.py run server, and after that we can just simply copy the URL. We can this one, API/token. Okay, so username is equal to what, admin, and the password is 123. Let's try this one. So you can see we are able to get all the token, like refresh token is this one and access token is this one. So let's hit the get API, and we are gonna get error because request.user is not available. Okay, also we haven't added those particular routes over here, so let's first import from todo.views import todo view. Okay, and let's path API/todo and todo view dot as view, and now we are good to go, /API/todo, and we're gonna hit, and again we are gonna error because like this one. So let's add this particular like permissions and other stuff over here. So now let's add the authentication classes. So we are gonna go in the views and let's import from REST framework simple JWT dot authentication import JWT authentication, and let's import the permission also from REST framework dot permissions import is authenticated. Okay, so now let's add these permissions. So authentication classes is equal to JWT authentication, and permission classes is equal to is authenticated. So now our route is good to go, and let's see what can we get. So when we hit this particular route, it says detailed credential was not provided, and let's obtain a token. So what we need to do is we need to grab this token, we need to add this token in our header. So authorization, that's gonna be bearer, and this one, and let's, so what you can see is to do fetch successfully, and after that if we print this particular user, you can see the token which we have added is for admin, and when we print this particular user, you can see here we got admin as well. So now it's totally working, and let's try our post request. So what we are gonna do is post, and then when we just hit this particular data, we're gonna get error, something went wrong, and what's the error, this. Okay, so we're gonna print this exception. Why is this exception was raised, print of E, and let's hit this particular API again, and something went wrong, that user object has no attribute UID. Okay, so user has ID, so something went wrong. To-do serializer has no attribute is valid. To-do serializer data equal to data. What's the issue here? Data is equal to data. Serializer dot is valid. I don't know why it won't work. Okay, so what we are getting is we are required to give a to-do name. So let's do to-do name, and when we pass the to-do name is called buy milk, and when we hit this particular route, you can see our to-do is created. The UID is this, and the like to-do name is this, and is completed is equal to false, and user is 1. And when we hit the get API, we can get all the to-do which user has already created, this one. So let's test it out, our update API. So for update API, we are going to do a patch request. We are going to write patch method for this, def patch and self request. So data is equal to request dot data, and we need a UID. So what we need to do is, if we want to update any particular to do, we need to pass that particular UID patch request from the postman, or you can say as a data. Let's validate if this particular dict has, or you can say if particular JSON has this particular key or not. Data dot get UID. So if UID is not there, if not, then we are going to return this particular response that UID is required. Okay, so this one, the status false, and we're gonna pass this error, UID is required. And otherwise, what we are gonna do is we're gonna get the object from that particular UID, and also we need to check like if UID, if someone has passed the UID and that particular UID exists also. So obj is equal to do dot objects dot filter, and you can say like UID is equal to data dot get UID, and if obj dot exist, if not obj dot exist, then again we are gonna return the error response that status is false, and the message is invalid UID. Okay, and again now we are going to open the serializer. Serializer is equal to do serializer, and for the data is equal to, we're going to pass the data, and first we are going to pass the obj, and data is equal to data, and for the update request we are going to pass partial 2, because we are going to add, you can say like patch request. For the patch request, it needs a parameter called partial equal to true. Now we are gonna check again if we can copy the same code which we have above already mentioned. This one, if serializer is valid, then serializer will save, and we're gonna pass this thing. So let's copy this one and let's paste this one over here, and let's keep the indentation right. So yeah, before going further to the video, I have a very important information. If you want to become a full stack engineer in just 6 months with guaranteed placement of 5 lakh LPA, so Newton School is just for you. And what's Newton School? Newton School is basically an e-learning platform which provide you training for complete full stack development. Best part of Newton School is that they give guaranteed placement of 5 lakh. That means you don't need to pay any amount until you get the job of minimum 5 lakh LPA, and it's totally written over here like zero fee till placement. The best part is a lot of companies from India recruit Newton School students. You can see a lot of companies are, all these are product based companies like Deloitte, Nykaa, Zomato, Xiaomi, Baidu, and the pay scale of all of these companies are very high. And also they provide live classes, industry projects, mock interviews, and my personal favorite is what, personal mentoring. And if you want to become a full stack developer in just 6 months with minimum guaranteed placement of 5 lakh, so you can join the Newton School course, which is, the link is in the description section, and you don't need to pay any amount until you get the placement, and the placement is about 5 lakh is the minimum placement, and you can grab a placement like 40 lakh. A lot of Newton School students have gained the placement of 40 lakh, 30 lakh, 20 lakh. So you can change your career, and the link is in the description section. You can check those out. So let's go to the video again. So we have corrected the indentation also. Try this one, and we need to close the, you can say like this one. Try, and we need to this one over here, and let's just accept exception as E, and again we are gonna copy the exception which we have raised. So let's just copy this thing and paste it over here. Okay, so now we are good to go for the patch request, and let's try this one out. So let's hit from here patch. Okay, so given token is not valid for any token type. Token access token, what's okay, maybe this token has expired. So let's just hit again, and let's copy this token. Let's add this token. Okay, UID is required, so let's pass the UID. So we can grab the UID from the admin panel, admin 123, and let's, okay, we need to add the to do as well. So the admin.py from dot models import to do, and we're gonna write admin dot site dot register to do. Okay, we're gonna save, and we're gonna reload the page, and we're gonna get the to do and just copy the UID, and let's just update this one. So, and what's the key is completed. We are gonna set now is completed is equal to true. Is completed is what? True. Let's hit this one. Something went wrong. Queries had no attribute meta, because we are getting filter. So filter returns the query set, and we need to pass that specific object. And let's again hit this one. Now you can say like to do is completed, and if you want to toggle something, like if you want to do false, and we can do false as well. And if we want to create this particular data, so we can go from here. So what we can do is we can like post request, and instead of this one we need to pass it by vegetables. And if we hit this particular route, and we can say to do is created, and if we can get the data, and you can say we are able to get buy milk and buy vegetable, both those are all to do which we are able to get. And if we like remove the token, if we like someone updates the token, and if we like something went wrong to the token, and it will be written the error response. So our API is totally completed, and in the next part of the video we are going to create the Vue Js code. We are going to write the Vue Js code. We will create the UI part, and let's add more JavaScript to this particular API. So meet you in the next video, and thank you.